Hi there. How is everyone doing? Welcome to Women Up. We are honored to be able to relaunch this platform. I always try and give credit where credit is due. Kieran Amano, who is an amazing, brilliant editorial genius, created this platform some years ago, and we are rebirthing this platform as well. It is a place where women can come together to convene, to vent, to be themselves. And so we are honored to be here tonight. We have Kelly Price on tonight, which is going to be amazing. I think what I'm supposed to doing, are we showing the video? Did we already show the video? Can I just be a little transparent? Tell me what I'm doing. Am I talking about it? Oh, so I think what I'm supposed to do is talk about my love letter. Okay, great. So I had this notion that I wanted to share my sentiment and through the brand Ebony, right? Through this love letter that I wrote, and people helped me edit it, and I think they just made it perfect. And the intent is that I love Black culture. I've always loved Black culture. I'm a little Black girl from Oakland, California, who grew up on 106th and Bancroft. All the people from the town. If you see this video, I always give ode to my hometown, and I wanted to share the sentiment that I have experienced 30 years in corporate America. And oftentimes I see people talking about culture and Black culture, and they love culture, right? Because what they do is they wrap culture up into sports and entertainment and fashion and food. And then they forget about all of the amazing, brilliant, bold, beloved Black people that created it. And my letter was to encourage people to love Black culture. Absolutely. Absolutely. But love Black people, love the people that created it. And that was the sentiment behind that letter. So I hope that you go to the website, ebony.com, and view it. I hope that you take it in with the spirit in which I wrote that. It was for us. It was for our community. It was a conversation. It was a thought starter. It was a thought starter. It was a thought starter. Hi there, everyone. This is Michelle G. It is an honor to be here with you on this evening. And I am just so glad to be here. So I believe they showed you the love letter. In virtual, we don't know what's going on, but I think that's the case. And I just want to give you a little bit of sentiment about the love letter. So I'm gonna throw it to the love letter. You guys gonna see the love letter that I wrote, and I wrote it with all of my heart, all of my soul, for the community. So take a look at this, please. A new beginning. My name is Michelle G, and I am the new CEO of the most iconic Black media brands in this nation, Ebony and Jet. A new beginning. That's what I want Ebony and Jet to be for you. A home for Black storytellers, an honest reflection of the totality of Black lives. I want Ebony and Jet to be a place for us to find healing and truth, to elevate our lives, and be a place for us to laugh and be free. The times we are living in keeps reminding us the world loves Black culture, but do they love Black people? We must keep interrogating a society that will use the bits and parts of a people but discard the reality of their lives. We no longer have to accept folks loving what we create yet not love their creators. At the new Ebony and Jet, we will build a community, invite those to love Black culture and Black people. In 1945, John H. Johnson had a vision for the Black community, one that allowed a more complete reflection of ourselves, our bold perseverance and pride, our brilliance and beauty, authentic reporting by, for, and about Black people. The new Ebony will pay homage to our powerful past by understanding that we, too, are history in the making. Family, I am writing you to say it's a new day. Our proud owner, Eden Bridgman, and myself are Black women determined to win not only for our families, but for your families as well. On this important and historic journey, we are building a company fueled by technology while tapping into the best creative talent around. Grant us grace as we grow, but watch us work. It's time to claim all that is good. Come with me as we rebuild this platform of Black expression and information. I say this with my whole entire soul. Ebony is here to love Black culture, but our mission is to lift Black
lives.
Oh man, when I see that, first of all, welcome. Welcome to our first Women Up in 2021. I got to give the creator, Kierna Mano, who created this platform for us to come together. And it's not just for women, it's for all of those folks that love Black women, that elevate Black women. It's my honor to host the first one. You're not going to see my face every time. Oh my gosh. But it's an honor to host the first one. And I just want to give you a little context to that letter. You know, I've been in corporate America a long time. People know my journey. I've been so transparent, probably too transparent. People like, shut up, Michelle. But everyone knows that on February 27th of 2020, you know, I was terminated from my job. And then right thereafter, I contracted COVID. And I did not know where my journey was going to go. And I really had to walk in faith. I reconnected myself with my prayer call, the Mississippi prayer call. Missionary Ellen K. Clark is our prayer leader. And I reconnected myself and I got my faith. And I said, you know what? I know that I am in a moment in time, but it does not dictate my ending. And so then I created my chalkboard series. And then I went back to school. I got my diversity and inclusion certificate from Cornell University, right? So you have to continue on this journey. And then Eden Bridgman reached out to me on July 19th. And we were connected by Black women. This Underground Railroad is amazing, right, sis? Like, we know we can get things done. And I was connected to her. And we began this journey that we are here today. And on Martin Luther King Day, we signed the paperwork to acquire Ebony and Jet. We're in divine order. And then on the next day, on January 19th, I became, and it was announced that I was the CEO. That was John Johnson's birthday. We are in divine order. I'm aware of that. And then on February 27th, this letter was released in 2021, 1 year to the day that I was terminated. Man, let me tell you something. Y'all don't have to be spiritual. This is my story, but to God be the glory, because I know that there is no mistake when things line up like that. So we are here. I have an opportunity to be the CEO of the most iconic brand. Oh, let me tell you, look, okay, I had to pull some things out the archive. Y'all remember this, right? Whenever someone sees this or hears the name of Ebony and Jet, it brings back this nostalgia. Y'all remember this cover? Oh, hold on. You remember this? Oh man, Black brilliance, Black beauty. And think about it. John Johnson and his family created this so that we could see a true reflection of ourselves when no one else would give us the credit. And it's still needed today, because we oftentimes walk hallways and we are invisible, even though we have contributed to the fabric of this community. Right? Oh, look. Oh, remember the big one? Yo, this is from 1967. I got to give a shout out to Kenneth G. It's my husband, Tony G's uncle. He has like 5,000 issues of this, and he sent this to me, and I so appreciate it. The last thing I want to say before we go to our amazing, powerful 9-time Grammy Award winning, beautiful sister who has in her own right rebirthed her own walk. Man, I love this, Sister Kelly Price. The last thing that I want to say is that we are rebirthing this brand. We launched on March 1st. The Ebony team is amazing. People said we couldn't do it. We didn't have enough time, but we did. And give us grace as we grow. We're not going to be perfect. Nobody is. But guess what? We had good intentions. And that was the sentiment behind this love letter, to let you know that we are going to demand that you see Black culture and the Black people that create it. You're not going to separate the two. We're going to get credit for everything we're going to do. We're going to use Black journalists to tell the story. We are going to interrogate, like I said in the letter, every nook and cranny as it relates to our people, our walk, our journey, our journey. All right. So listen, I'm going to bring my girl forward. We're going to have an open conversation. Let me tell you what I love about Kelly Price. I texted her. I said, listen, what can I talk about? She said, I'm an open book, sis. Oh, come on now. You got to love that. So with further ado, I would love to bring my friend, my girl, 9-time Grammy Award winning, beautiful sister, Kelly Price. Woo! Where the drums? Where the drums? Where the drums? Oh, no, Kelly, you didn't have that hair a couple days ago. Yo,
no, girl, you know she goes on the wig head every night, and a new one comes out in the morning.
But that's what's so beautiful about us. Yo, listen, one day is long with a red tint. The next day is, come on.
Let's do videos and whatnot this week. So all the girls came out the closet.
Listen, thank you for being here. Thank you for being our first Women Up guest. So first, let me check in, because that's what I said in the love letter. How are you doing?
I am doing amazingly well. 2020, I listened to the love letter and I got chills. So let me tell you, talking about being in divine alignment. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning and so desperately wanted to go back to sleep. And God would not let me go back to sleep. I am in the middle of writing what may be longer, but as of right now is a 5-day devotional study on grace.
Oh, wow.
So I got up this morning because I kept hearing all of these things about grace. And so I'm listening to you talk about give us grace as we grow. So forgive me if I jump right on that, but I got you said it. Grace, as God gave me to write, grace is the gift of responsibility, accountability, served with compassion and empathy.
Yeah.
And when you break it down, that's literally what it is. When you give someone grace, it's not that you're not holding them accountable or not expecting them to be responsible, but you are giving them an opportunity to do what they do. And even if they fall short, you're giving them grace, you're giving them compassion, you're showing empathy. And that's what grace is. So if we want to go to the word with it, because I ain't nothing but an old preacher's kid that hides the fact that she a preacher sometimes too. That when the word says, my grace is sufficient for you and my strength is made perfect in your weakness, simply means that grace is a place where God's sufficiency and his strength meets up with our weakness, and it's perfect. It's made perfect.
Let me ask you this, Kelly, because when I was terminated, guess what I had to do? I had to grant myself grace.
Yes.
And so talk to me about how you've granted yourself grace through your journey. And we're going to talk about healing, but I just want to stand on grace for a minute because we all have to do that. Tell me how you've granted yourself grace in this moment.
I'm going to tell you something. What I have found in my journey, and I can't speak for anyone else, even when it's hard to forgive, I found that it's easier for me to forgive other people for the things that they've done to me than it is for me to forgive myself for the things that I have allowed to happen.
Come on. Everybody listen, snap your fingers right.
Giving my power away. I've, given my power away or given someone else the ability to pull strings and make me their puppet through my emotions. And so I've had to learn how to give myself grace. I've had to learn how to forgive myself, number one, because I have to honestly say any mistake that I've ever made is not because God didn't throw up a huge red flag and go, hey, I'm talking to you, listen to me. It's because I didn't listen. It's because I ignored it. It's because I thought I knew better. It's because, no, God, no, maybe. So I've had to learn how to give myself grace as a mother, now as a grandmother, as an artist, as a woman who started off life, a really hard young life. I did have a foundation of faith, but we had a really, really hard young life. We were homeless a lot. We were on welfare like a lot of people, and growing up in the 70s in New York in the projects and going through the whole crack era and all of that. My dad died when I was very young. I was abused sexually abused starting at 3 years old. And so there are all of these different things that were taking place, and all of these things and things that you just didn't talk about and you didn't say. And as I got older, just compounded and kind of holding all of that stuff in. And thank God for the music. It was an outlet, but there came a time when I had to be able to set myself free and speak the things that had happened to me and be okay with knowing that if it happened to me, it's okay to say. For a long time, I wouldn't say anything because I was protecting my abusers.
Wow.
It was harmful to me. While I was giving grace to my abusers, I was continuing to harm myself. And so I had to learn how to be gracious to myself, and to know that that wasn't selfish, and to know that that wasn't about hurting anyone or making the family look bad or making any of that. But literally, I had a movie director, and her name, she's going to kill me because I know her, Christine Swans. She directed the Clark sisters biopic, and we got a chance to know each other a couple of years ago, and we were talking about my life. And she said, Kelly, she said, if people wanted you to speak well of them, they should have treated you better.
Wow. I'm going to write that down, sis. That
so,
is.
Yeah, it's powerful. And it's not about getting back. If it happened, it happened. You have the right to say, this happened to me.
Yes.
And so that's where I've mostly had to learn how to be gracious and give grace to myself. I've found that I've often been able to do it for others more than I've been able to do it for myself. And so the last 5 to 7 years has been an opportunity and a lesson in how to be kind to myself, and how to love myself, and how to forgive myself, and how to give grace to myself, and how to treat Kelly good.
Yeah.
A lot of people really, really well, but I wasn't always so kind to myself.
So let's talk about this, because I know when I saw you in Atlanta on Monday, and thank you for coming, because you really, girl, you brought it. Like, you really brought it. It was, and we're gonna talk about that, because you said 2 things that I'm not gonna forget. And it was a busy night, right? And we were socially distancing, and we're trying to follow protocol. Let's talk about healing, Kelly, because you've had some loss.
Yes.
And you're very public about the law. I remember seeing the video, and you were boo-hooing, like you, and I felt that, right?
Yes.
As your sister in this movement, as your sister in Christ, as an executive, I ain't a public figure like you, but some people say, oh, that's Michelle, you know.
You are a public figure.
But right. Let's talk about healing. How do you do that? Because what I've learned is when you share, Kelly, you allow someone else to heal. So let's heal some people tonight. Tell us about that.
Yes. So 2020 was a rough year for the world, but 2020 would see that I lost my brother, who was like the only male positive role model in my life. He was also my pastor growing up. And so I came to know God through grandpa and grandma. And I lost a lot of friends. I lost people that I grew up in church with. My grandmother did contract COVID, but she beat it at 95. I tell you, that woman is amazing. When I thought the year couldn't do anything else ridiculous, we literally get to the end of October, and I get a call early in the morning, and I was told that my mother was gone. And as far as we knew, she wasn't even sick. Oh, so, wow. The possibilities of what could have happened, or she had it and didn't know it, or but her heart just stopped. And so it was a really, really rough year. And I think I may have started telling you that in between shooting television series and stuff, moving further into television and film, I've been recording new music, preparing for an R&B release. And literally the way the year had gone, my writing literally just shifted. It shifted and went in another direction. And I started writing the things that I needed for my own spirit, that I knew that once I released, it would work to heal someone else's spirit. And so I allowed myself the opportunity to cry. I allowed myself the opportunity to grieve. But I also leaned in, because what I did not want to do was find myself in a place where I was grieving so hard that I couldn't come from that place. Mm-hmm. So I allowed myself to feel, but I leaned into my faith. And the great thing about, I say my gift really kind of saved me. Music was my therapy growing up as a kid. Writing was my therapy, because literally I could say anything in a poem or in a song. Mm-hmm. But God allowed me to just pour out everything that I was feeling through music. And all of it didn't even get recorded. Some of it was just necessary for me to write and get it out so that I can hear it, see it, read it, get rid of it, and be done with it. And so the healing journey is still very real for me. My grandfather's birthday was just this past Friday.
Oh, wow.
So he would have been 95 years old. And so he just had his first birthday in heaven. And I had about 10, 15 minutes of a breakdown. And then I said, get yourself together, girl, and go do what that man taught you how to do. And so I cried. I had about 10 or 15 minutes of a little breakdown. And then I got myself together and I went to work.
I know that's right. So wait a minute. Because I know I read this. So you've done R&B. So are you saying that you're going into the gospel realm and you're going to create this gospel a narrative for us? Because that's all
already done. It literally happened so fast. It will be out on Good Friday, and on Resurrection Sunday morning will be 1 year to the day that my grandfather transitioned.
Wow!
So I get to release music that he would have loved on the 1 year anniversary of his transition.
And we're talking about Divine Order, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He would be so proud of that. So proud.
He really would.
So let me transition a little bit. So we talked about this. When you see this, Kelly, when you see this, tell me about this. Tell me about why does it? What meaning does this have for you? Like what memories does this bring back?
Oh my God! Like that makes me think about being a little girl and realizing that Black wasn't just roots. And I say that respectfully.
I was gonna say, because it was good, but I understand.
I say that respectfully because my memories of Black, again, Black history, we had like maybe a day or two that they taught us anything about Black history in school when we were in school. The lessons were very limited, and I could count. I already knew that they were going to show the Martin Luther King movie and that they were going to show the Roots series on WPIX Channel 11 in New York. And so, period. That was the only time we were going to get Black on television. And so Ebony and Jet showed me something other than that Black. And so that's important. But the evolution of Black, I think we had this conversation the other day. It represents not just our history, but it represents the evolution and the continual evolution and revolution of Black.
Yes.
And it's beautiful and it's powerful and it's wonderful and it is culture and it is all of those things that you said in your love letter, because yes, people love what we give them, but they don't always love us. And that has to come to an end, but that will come to an end when first to love ourselves and love each other respectfully.
Yeah, that's facts. You froze just a little bit because the devil's always busy, but you said we got to first learn to love ourselves, okay?
Love ourselves and love each other.
And love each other. And love each other.
Right by each other. The same level of respect that we walk into that job and show the people that we have to show up for and work with or work for, we've got to do that for each other. And just like you said, give us the grace to grow. We have to be gracious with each other. Because again, the word divine order. I woke up out of my sleep at 4 o'clock this morning, couldn't go back to sleep. I was writing about grace. And here you are talking about grace tonight. People often don't realize how important grace is until they're the ones who need it.
Wow, you better preach that word right now. Okay, I'm about to. If it weren't a Zoom, I'd be in the audience doing a Holy Ghost run around the building. So let's talk about. No, it's facts. No, it's facts. That's so much facts. So let's talk about. I stated that, and we were really intentional when we relaunched Ebony and Jet, and we knew that it needed to be a rebirth. And you had the most beautiful definition of that. Share again, just in case people should have been watching our launch, but in case they were busy, okay, because they had an emergency, tell them what you said about the rebirth, Kelly, because it was beautiful.
It literally was something that came to me when I was listening to the young artist as he was talking about the piece, and he was talking about lions and lioness and how they move. Why the lion is the king of the jungle, even though he's not the fastest, nor is he the strongest. And as he was talking, I could just kind of see it unfold in front of me that lionesses move in a pride.
Yeah.
And so there's a pride that goes along with making it's the pride, it's the unity, it's the sticking together, it's the coming together. It is the pride that makes the lion the king of the jungle. And so if we're going to stand out and if we are going to rise up to the royal status that we are to be as a people, we're going to have to do it unified and with pride, as a pride, with pride. And so it came to me while he was talking, because it was such a monumental moment in what he was saying. I don't even know that he was aware of what he was saying and how deep it was. But it just kind of sucker punched me, and I was like, yeah, lions move in a pride.
You did. You brought that, Kelly. Like, you brought that up. We're like, oh no. He was like, thank you. Like, it had been coordinated, right? Matter of fact, I think Yvonne can pull forward a picture of our launch work. Oh, there it goes. And then I just want to give John Moody a shout out. You know, we were introduced to him through a woman who's actually helping us run this event, Yvonne McNair. But we wanted something that was amazing. And I don't know if you look really closely at this, and Kelly, you had an opportunity because you saw it in person, but there are words on this picture. It says ebony, of course, but it says culture, it says brilliance, it says beloved, it says bold, it says community. There are words that are written in this. And we wanted something that was elevating. We wanted something that was beautiful and artistic and different. And it's Women's History Month, but and we're going to talk about this because I know a lot of times, thank you for pulling that forward for us, Yvonne, but a lot of times, you know, women are elevated, right? And we're given an opportunity, and it's Women's History Month, and there was dialogue. Should we have a man draw a picture? But this was our relaunch, and we don't want to leave our men out. Like, we're moving together. So
we need each other.
We do. We need each other, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times there's powerful Black women and we're doing our thing and we're moving in corporate America, but there's some brothers that are holding us up, that are holding it down. Talk to me about some significant people. You ain't got to talk about your boo or anything. Talk about.
Soon come. You tell them.
We ain't got to tell no secrets on here, girl. Okay? We ain't got to talk about security or nothing.
Very secure. Very secure.
But let's talk about our brothers, right? It's Women's History Month, but I don't want to leave them out. I'm going to tell you a story. My daughter, I had taken her to Black Girls Rock. I worked for BET for many years, and we would go to Black Girls Rock. And my son is like, Mommy, do Black boys rock? Can I go? And I was like, man, Black boys do rock. They do rock. They're amazing and brilliant and beautiful. We're not going to leave our men out. So talk to me a little bit about some men that have influenced your journey along the way.
I have to start with my grandfather.
Yes,
my grandfather. He was an old school Pentecostal preacher from Arkansas who moved to Brooklyn with his family as a kid, and you let him tell it. He's Brooklyn all day, every day. And so starting with him, because he introduced me to the most important influence in my life, which is God. And so definitely him. And if I were to just go down the line, so the crazy thing about it is that there's always been like women around, and there were always so many women around. So my grandfather was really like the main male influence. Yeah. And then as I got older and came into the business, I found myself surrounded by men who kind of helped push me in the direction that I needed to go, because I didn't have the confidence to think that I actually could be anything other than someone who stood behind somebody else, or somebody who just sang in a booth in a studio or just wrote the music for someone else. But there was this incredible, group of men who were like, no, you should be Sean Puffy Combs being one of them, Ronald, Mr. Biggs Isley being another one of them, just landed in the strangest places and pushed me into a destiny that I likely would have walked away from, because I was listening to what people were saying and not trusting in the gift that God gave me and the assignment that he gave me. I literally was listening to people tell me, you can't do that because you don't look like this and you don't sound like that. And so, we can't do it without our brothers. I love celebrating our brothers. They are the best other part of us.
So talk to me of now, we're going to say the best for not last, but so let's talk about some women that have been influential, that have helped you on your journey. And tell me about that dynamic, that relationship, and how important it is to listen, I keep my circle really tight because I want to make sure that people are making deposits and withdrawals in the same year. You don't get to just if you want to make a deposit, great, but you don't get to make a withdrawal. So talk to me about some women that have, and I say this, there are advocates, there are sponsors, but then there are champions, women that have really gone to bat for you, that have helped you, that have opened doors and have delivered something, because championship is so important.
Yes. I'm going to have to go back to that generation.
I love it.
It starts with my grandmother, even with the music. Like it started, God gave her this gift. Everybody in my family benefited from it. We all got it. None of us ever took any music lessons. It was just kind of passed down. And so it started with her. She just has this quiet strength. And she's still with me. She suffered a double stroke a couple of years ago. And again, on Easter weekend, I am changing the definition of Easter weekend in my life, literally this year. I'm being intentional. Just a quiet strength. And when I think about the fact that, if God spares her life, she'll be 96 in September. And the things that her eyes have seen, I think I even said this because I literally just could keep thinking about where we are in time, where we are in history, the marks that we are now responsible for making and leaving for the next generations and the ones that will come behind us. But for everything that her eyes have seen, women didn't have the right to vote when my grandmother was born.
Wow.
Women were technically still considered really property of whatever man they belonged to. And, they had to ask permission to do things. And so to know that her eyes have seen so much, she saw, she came through the civil rights era. She saw Dr. King murdered. But then she turned around and saw the first Black president.
Right.
So, in 96 years of living,
look,
by far, I saw that cover and it gave me chills when I held it up. But by far, she is my favorite female person ever in life.
Wow.
Seriously. And she's my go-to with everything. I can remember being a young, pregnant 18-year-old thinking that God was mad at me and I had screwed my life up royally. And my very soft-spoken grandmother, who rarely raised her voice, popped me in the mouth and told me, shut your mouth. If you're not going to speak the right thing, if you're not going to let the right thing come out of your mouth, don't say anything at all.
Wow.
And
don't we need people like that? Don't we need people like that?
Yes. Absolutely. And then there are the Michelle G's of the world, who I had the pleasure of meeting several years ago. And from day one, you were a presence, just a presence. And I can remember sitting on a panel with you and connecting with you and addressing women in the room. And I literally was going through a serious rough period. I had just lost my sister. I was going through a divorce. Getting ready to relocate from the West Coast back to the East Coast, trying to rebuild my career, take back my name, take back my reputation.
Yeah, I remember sis. I remember that. Oh, and you did it with such grace. I mean, and I don't see what's going on behind the scenes. And you know what? I remember this, Kelly, this whole conversation and about your children, because like you look like you're the age of your children, right? You have grown.
I have real grown
kids. Okay, like you, they
27.
Yeah, they have their own, they can have it. So, and I remember that you were on this journey to live your life in the best way. And when I saw you on Monday, you didn't need to say anything to know that you were in a good place, not mentally, spiritually, but even your body. And listen, a lot of us struggle with keeping our bodies in shape. You got to tell us, how are you able to maintain? What are you doing? How are you eating? How are you exercising? We're going to get real tonight. Like, so what are you doing? Because you look, I said, no, she don't have them leggings on with them boots up there. You like that with that leather coat on, girl. You better bring it. Okay, people gonna go back and try and find that video. They better.
Oh my, they got to find the video. Thank you. First of all, weight has always been an issue for me, and I have lived it out loud over the last 30 years for the entire world to see. And when nobody cared, when people made horrible statements in print or said something terrible. So let me just pass that. I'll be honest with you. It's easier to do when you learn how to love yourself. And I say that because when you love yourself, when you really love yourself, you're going to be very careful about what you put in your body.
Yes.
You're going to be very careful about who you let touch your body.
Yes.
If we go in there, let's go all the way there. You're going to be even more careful about who you let pierce your mind, who you let keep space and take up. Nobody deserves to live in here that is not paying the mortgage for space inside the real estate of my brain.
Yes, ma'am.
And so it really is a journey of self-love. And I've always been a big girl, but I want to live. It's simple. I want to and I want to live a long, healthy life. I don't want to be 90 years old on a ventilator. I want to be 90 years old and still kicking it with my dude.
I know that's right. Okay, you want security. Okay, we're not going there. So Kelly, so listen, you kind of slipped to me, and they're the best moment of the night. So Eden Bridgman is our owner. She a bad sister, ain't she? And people were calling me. They're like, "Is the owner? Is she black?" I was like, "Oh, they black." And so Eden is this amazing person. Her husband is the spirit, right? And so this song came on, and yeah, you started singing, and then he can't sing, but then he started singing, and it was this moment that was so amazing because it unified the group. Yeah. Kelly, you know, I got to add, like, you want to share something with us? Come on now, you got to share something, because you're the only person who doesn't need auto tunes. You don't need no studio, like, because you are a pure, amazing singer.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do for you guys, I'm gonna sing a small piece of an a cappella. I actually sang this song with my sister at my mother's homegoing service.
Oh, wow.
And at the last minute, threw it on this project that's coming out literally just a few weeks back. So it'll be out on April 2nd, but it's a cover by Vanessa Bell Armstrong. And it's a song I used to sing as a kid and church all the time. And it's Faith That Can Conquer Anything. And it simply says, I have the faith to reach the unreachable, expect the incredible, receive the impossible, faith that can conquer anything, faith that uproots my problems, faith to know God can solve them.
Wow.
Faith to vision my freedom. I have faith that can conquer anything. And you got to get the EP if you want to hear the rest of it.
Yes, let me tell you something. Yo, we about to bring back Jet with the top 20. Like, we got to do that because yo gonna be double. Kelly, man, I'm sitting here with goosebumps. And let me tell you about Divine Order, sis. Yeah. So right now, I told you I'm part of this prayer ministry called the Mississippi Prayer Call. I'm on every day, but on Tuesdays and Thursdays, my friend Nicole Hall and I, it's kind of funny because she's singing. She ain't singing like that though. Sorry, Nicole. But she's singing, okay. And then, we go into devotion, praise reports. But guess what we're in right now? We're in faith. We're in faith. We are talking about faith. So we started the year about instruction, then we went into love, and now this morning I read Hebrews 3. Sorry if y'all ain't religious. Okay, we gonna pray for you, but we're in faith. And so I just, like, we didn't plan this. I didn't know you were gonna sing. I didn't know you were gonna sing that song. And faith is so important. We only have a couple more minutes. I really want you to tell folks how important it is to walk in faith when the world is not loving you, when they're telling you can't do it, when they're not buying your records, when they're not watching. Like, please, go on, shut it down, Kelly.
So I'll say this, even if you don't believe like I believe, or if they don't believe like you believe, I will say this. What the opposite of faith is fear.
Yes, ma'am.
It literally is the polar opposite. And so if you can walk in fear, you have what it takes to walk in faith. Why do I say that? I'm going to make it make sense. Okay. So if you are in fear of something, having fear about something is the belief that something detrimental or bad is going to happen. Faith is standing in belief, but it's for something good to happen. It literally is the same thing on opposite sides of the spectrum. So for people to say, well, I don't think I have enough faith. If you have ever been in fear of anything, you have what it takes to have faith. Fear is faith pointed in the wrong direction.
Wow.
Simple as that.
Yes.
So take your fear, change the direction, change your trajectory, and turn that fear into faith. So even if, like, again, like I said, even if you don't believe like I believe, even if they don't believe like you believe, the reality of it
Yes, facts.
is that fear is faith pointed in the wrong direction. So change the direction of your fear, apply that energy, apply that strength, apply that belief that something is going to happen, and decide that it's going to be something that's going to work out for your good in the end. Because all things do work together for the good to those who love God and who are called according to his purpose. But the principle of faith alone, to walk in faith, you got something has to happen. That's just a principle. If you walk in faith, something has to happen as a result of that faith. Just like a lot of times when you walk in fear, it becomes like a self-proclaiming, like you end up prophesying your own doom because it's what you believed. So we just have to change the way we believe, and change the direction of our fear and apply it in another way and call it faith. Call it what God wants you to call it. Call it faith.
Yes. You know, someone told me a long time ago that fear and faith can't live in you at the same time. So you have to make a choice every single day what you're going to walk in. That's facts. So let's end on something kind of fun, right?
Yes.
So like, you know, I'll never forget this. I have friends that are actually singers and they're like, oh, that person's off tune. Oh, that person, I don't listen to that. I don't do. So who are you listening to right now other than your side? We're going to, and before we leave, I want you to tell people how to find you, where to find the music, how to support you, Kelly, because that's what we're going to do. But so who are you listening to, to these days? So what should be like, well, who are you grooving to?
Okay. So my favorite of the new generation, seriously, like I love SZA, I love all of them. I love Jasmine Sullivan, but my absolute favorite of this new school is Her Music Official. Like I can't get off her. Like, she's incredible. She's a walking music note.
Yes.
She's an entire chord. Like she's a whole chord by herself. She is walking music. And I've had the opportunity to tell her how much I love her. Like she's music. She's a walking instrument. And what I love about it is because she is so musical, but she's also so young, that this thing that I did and was doing 20 plus years ago, that Miss Patti LaBelle and Shaka Khan and Gladys Knight and Aretha Franklin and Anita Baker and all of those incredible vocalists were doing before I came along, it gets to travel, it gets to continue, and it's in a way that the next generation can understand it, but it's still real music. That's what I love. It's live instrumentation. The girl is writing her behind off. She's singing her face off. Like my wig is off to her. Indeed, I'm not taking it off on this live, but my wig. Don't do that. You make it good. My wig comes off.
They ain't ready for that, Kelly. They ain't ready for it. You know,
they're not ready for that.
And when I saw her at the Super Bowl, right? I said, you better sing with them.
Total rock star moment.
What I said, yo, she's so dope. She's so bad. But there is a new class of amazing folks. So this is just a fun tidbit before we sign off. And I thank you. You tell people how to reach you. And I tell people to come to ebony.com and stop playing to sign up. My daughter on the right, I said, oh, you know, Tay, I'm interviewing Kelly Price. And she's like, oh, mommy, she's like, she can see. She said, and guess what? Drake follows her on Instagram.
Really?
I said, yeah, let's go, Kelly. Let's go. He better follow you because you're the baddest singer known to me.
You know what was kind of dope is that when I met him, he acknowledged that he was a fan and that he had listened to, and that I was like, okay, my kids listen to him, but he acknowledged that he was. But it's actually really, really cool to know that, again, the leaders of this music generation, you know, will say, hey, I remember when you were singing on those Biggie songs and, you know, the Lox and Jay-Z and, you know, that, because that stuff was like 25 plus years ago.
I know, right?
Yeah, I can't believe it, but it's been a long time. but yeah, hey kids.
Exactly right. So listen, where do people buy it? How do people download? What do you want? Let's talk to this audience, because this thing is going to live, right? We're going to play this because we want to support you for supporting us, and we appreciate that. So tell us.
Absolutely. So Grace, which seems to be the word of the day, is also the name of the project. And so it will be out on Friday, April 2nd. That's Good Friday. And yeah, it will be available every place where you can legally download it legally. And yeah, please go get it. It literally, so I decided with this project, I have my moments that I call meditation moments on this project. But for the most part, you are going to dance and sweat.
Oh, wow.
Literally, and that's really different for me, because people are, they're used to the moment and the belt, and there's all of that there, but you're gonna dance. I literally told God last year, I'm tired of crying. I need to dance. I want to dance. I need a beach, some water. Like and so the way the music came to me, healing came through dancing. I have a song on this project called Dance Party. I am looking to start a global dance party in the month of April. And I want people to gather with their loved ones, whoever they are sheltering with, those who you can be around safely. And I want us to start a global dance party and dance our way into healing. David danced until he danced out of his clothes. I want us to dance our way into some healing and let the crying cease and let joy take over. And I'm going to keep going back to the word. The joy of the Lord is my strength. And so I need to be strengthened. So I need God's joy. And I'm going to dance. I'm going to dance. I dance so hard to the stuff in the house when I'm listening to it that half the time, by the time I'm done, I don't even need to go work out because I done sweated.
Dance. No, hey, listen, don't let all this fool you. I can dance while I hold the record to whatever video game that is. While I'm like, yo, come on. What?
We gotta do a virtual dance party. We gotta do maybe we start one at ebony.com. We gotta start a virtual dance party.
Yeah, Kelly.
I love it.
Anyway, listen, I can't thank you enough for your honesty, transparency, for being you, for being talented and brilliant. We are going to support you on Good Friday, everybody. It's called Grace. You can't forget that. April 2nd. We're going to cover that, and we're going to give you some love on ebony.com. Jet is not going to launch until the summer sometime, but we got that too. We got a special plan for Beauty of the Week. Everybody's been asking for it. Oh my God. Come on, everybody been asking.
I started to say something, but now I've been transparent the whole time. I remember walking in church one Sunday, and there was a brother sitting on the back row in my grandfather's church with the Jet magazine open.
Yo, let me tell you something. Beauty of the Week.
I was like, what in the fuck?
I can't even find it.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny, Kelly.
It's
I'm trying to
find iconic. You got the Bible, and then there's Jet.
No, because listen, if you made the Jet Beauty of the Week, you was a superstar. You was popular, like you was popping the most. What? Come on. I'm gonna see if maybe me and you can do a little. See if I can pull some strings, since I know the people who own Ebony and Jet. Let's see if we can get our little moment.
Listen, I'm not mad if y'all want to do a little plus size edition of the Beauty of the Week. I'll give you a little bathing suit action.
I love it. Listen, everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us, Kelly. We are going to absolutely support you, because that's what we do, right? It's about loving on our community. It's about loving the people that make it and loving the people. If you guys want to, please go to ebony.com. Look at the new site. It is amazing. Our team has worked extremely hard. Sign up so we can send you our information, newsletter. We ain't charging nobody. This is free, and we're going to have some amazing content, amazing tools for you to be your best self. So thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next Thursday with another. I don't know if they're going to be able to top this. This is hard. Maybe we should have kept this one.
I was here for the first one.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So thank you guys. Have an amazing, blessed night. Give yourself some grace, love yourself, and be the best that you can be. We love you. Have an amazing night. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Amen. Look, I'm amen.
Amen.